Hello again, and welcome to this video where we'll be talking about your social media presence. Other than having an amazing cover letter or an amazing resume or whatever work you put in, your prospective employers, after seeing your amazing cover letter, amazing resume, whatever hard work you put into it, none of that gonna matter if your social media presence is not clean and polished. And you'll see in a minute what I mean. All right, you need to look professional on social media, but how do you do that? um, that's a question that comes to mind, especially because you're applying for a remote job, so you might not actually have the chance to talk to these people, to or see them face to face. So most of the impressions that they're going to get of you are through your resume and cover letter and through your LinkedIn profile or Facebook or whatever you have. And but there's a problem right there. If your social media profiles are not polished, are not well presented, you might actually have a problem. So the question here is, do you have accounts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat? I mean, the chances are you do. So you want to make sure that these accounts, look clean. And I keep saying looking clean because I have seen so many people who have been rejected even before they've been called for an interview because of a few bad pictures here and there, or a few kind of opinionated social media posts. We're not gonna get into too much detail about what needs to be posted or not, but we're only gonna be like focusing on pictures. You don't want to have unprofessional, very bad, not very tasteful photos on your social media. So the easiest way to clean up your social media presence is, if you want to keep stuff private, just go ahead and keep it private. So on Facebook, for instance, you can choose every post. Where do you want to put it? Do you want just friends to see it, or do you want friends of friends to see it, or do you want it to be just you and a few other people, or do you want it to be public? And I'm not really sure how many people can see it when it's public, but when it's public, that means even Google can pick it up, and it can be indexed by Google. And if somebody just puts in your name plus Google plus Facebook on Google on a search, you'll come up and they'll be able to see everything. So if you want things just not show up, the easiest way to do it is just set everything private. On Instagram, it's easy. You can just set your whole profile as private, and then you'll be fine. I'm not really sure about TikTok and Snapchat. I'm not really on those platforms, but again, the easiest way to actually not be related to those is just to use a username that's not your full name. So it wouldn't be easy for people to just find you just by doing a search of your name. So somebody would open up Snapchat and type in your full name, and then you'll show up. You could just use a username that's a little bit different from your full name, and you'll be fine. That's for TikTok and Snapchat. Instagram is easy again. Facebook is a little bit complicated. So you can pretty much just set them all as private and be fine. That's one way to do it. But again, this is a piece of advice that's really, really important. Again, we don't want to set everything as private because it gives this idea that you have something to hide. And if you have something to hide, then you might not pretty much be interesting to these people. It could be like, okay, well, maybe they have something to hide. They have a secret hobby. I don't know. Something that's not really tasteful, as they like to say it. So what I suggest is, if you go on to Instagram, there's few things you can do. You can create a whole new account that's a little bit professional, with your name, with a presentable profile picture, with a few images, and that's it. You should be good. TikTok, Snapchat, those are very personal. You can just keep them private. But again, we're talking about Instagram and Facebook. Those are everywhere. Facebook, you can actually set whatever images you want to hide as private, so nobody can see them, or just your friends. You can set a select few images as public so that people can see them. So that's, those are like ways to kind of clean up your social media. But the most important social media, when we're talking about professional networks and job hunting is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very it's a job kind of like social network. It's for people looking for jobs, people like hunting, like headhunters and stuff. And there are things, a few etiquette things that you have to follow. So first of all, you shouldn't have a blurry image. You shouldn't have not too much activity. You should just slightly be active on it. You shouldn't have a bad title and a bad summary that's not doing a good job describing who you are and what you do. So LinkedIn is actually a place where you can actually make yourself. It's like having a public resume, because again, it's a social network above everything else. So you should have a profile that's good. That's when people see it, they understand who you are and what you're about, and your experiences, and where you've been to school, and what you're interested in a kind of like professional world. All right, so we'll go through some examples, obviously, and the basics, obviously, is to have a professional looking photo. We talked about in the previous video. It's very, very important to have a very professional looking photo with a smile on your face. It's very important to have a smile on your face. This, I can't, stress this enough. It's very important to have a smile on your face on these photos. Whether you're dressed for the job or even a t-shirt, it doesn't really matter on LinkedIn, but you just have to have this good looking image there. You do have to have a well-formatted title, and we'll look at a few examples. And also, you have to have a good cover photo. There's a few other items that we'll go through. All right, so here we have a few major people that are famous on LinkedIn. We'll look at how they're doing it. So they do have a cover letter that kind of for this person. If you don't know who he is, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's very famous on all social media platforms. You can see that he has 4.2 million followers here on LinkedIn, and the cover image kind of showcases how many companies he has: VaynerX, VaynerMedia, Tracer, all the companies that he owns. And the image, a little bit of a smirky smile. The name, the full name, you have chairman of VaynerX. So the title here is very important. Just say what your position, what your title, what you're good at. It doesn't actually have to say what your job is, but at least just focus in on what your expertise is. This is very as we call it, very plain, very basic, but it does the job. So there's an about section that also has to be written really well. Yeah, see, it's pretty long. It gives you a lot of space to write. What you can feature a few of the even websites, so if you have one. And I suggest that you actually take advantage of all the things that LinkedIn offers. The LinkedIn profile kind of offers. This kind of showcases the activity that the person has done, like recently, what comments you've left, what posts you have posted, and then you go down to the experience, like what you do, what you have done before, co-founder, host of this, and then you have skills and endorsements, and that's pretty much it. And then you have like people who recommend you, and this is also important. If you have a little bit of experience in something, then people who have worked with you in a specific project or a specific job, they can actually leave recommendations for you. It actually kind of helps a little bit. You can add in, there's a lot more things you can add, like honors, awards, publications and stuff, but these are not really important. Let's look at another example. So we have Dennis Yu. So Dennis Yu is a social media marketing expert. He works with a lot of big brands that he helps them with their social media, Facebook ads specifically. As you can see from the cover letter, he showcases that he's an expert. He's a speaker. There's a smile on the image, on the profile photo, which is, again, very important. So he is more into the business side of things. So he's not like looking for a job, but he still has a good title. So you have secret weapon of 7+ figure founders in health and wellness. Systematize your digital marketing, CEO of Blitzmetrics. So kind of just like presenting himself in a few characters, in a few words. So we have like what his skills are, highlights, the about section. I amplify exposure. So this guy is like offering a service, right? He's not looking for a job, but you can learn. I mean, there's a reason why I did this on purpose, is because these people are actually not looking for a job, they're looking for clients. So they have to have a very good looking profile. So here you can actually learn a little bit of things from these people, because they're business people. You can market yourself as an asset. You think of yourself as a business owner, or the business of yourself. You're selling yourself. You're selling your skills. That's why you have to have present yourself in a way that's very marketing kind of savvy. And you don't have to be in the marketing sector to actually look like this. You can be in any field and still make your profile look very attractive. So this guy is talking about what he can do to help your business. So you should think of yourself that in the same way. Just like we saw in the example in the cover letter, you want to talk about how you can help them. It's mostly about the company that you're applying for, not about you and what you do and what you know is important, obviously. But again, you have to always link your skills to their needs. You have to remember this. You have to link your skills and your expertise to the company's needs, always. So it's always like, me, I'm a piece of the puzzle that's going to fit and make your company more complete. Always think of it this way. And those are like the little pieces that people are looking for that's going to make your applications always stand out. Again, look at another example here. We have Logan Young. He's an online marketing person at a big company called Snow. So you can see here that he wants to kind of show this social proof of him with Mark Zuckerberg on the cover letter. And the image, again, is very professional with a very big smile. Again, smiles are very underrated. A good smile on your image. I mean, you don't have to have amazing teeth or anything like that. Just smile and look natural, and it's going to do you wonders. Again, the titles you can see here, the location, how many connections they have, and there's straight to the About page, the About section. So I'm the director of social media advertising. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. So this guy is also lucky. He's an employee. He's not a business owner, but at least the way he talks about it is almost like writing a cover letter. So he presents himself in this way that is very useful, and talking about what skills he has and what kind of experience he has and what kind of things and results he was able to help achieve for the companies he worked for. All right. And then you have like how many followers they have, the experience, and education again. And then a little bit of skills and endorsements, and you have the recommendation section again, which is very important. You can always ask people who you worked with before to leave a recommendation on your profile. Not that you have to have hundreds of them, just one or two are going to do the job. All right, just people just who are going to kind of add the element of social proof, the element of that you are good at what you do based on what other people say and not what you say. So the recommendations on this part is really, really important. We talked about in the last video about a thing called the About Me section on your resume. You can actually do a very good marketing tactic that's called social proof. That's what I just mentioned. And instead of writing about yourself, you can just put quotes and put a testimonial from either the previous employer or somebody you worked with on a project who was very impressed with you, and he or she was very impressed with you, obviously. They actually talk about how good you are at what you do. And so instead of just you talking about you can actually put this social proof concept on there. Remember this: social proof sells, and you're not selling anything, but you're selling your skills. And again, when you put all these elements together, you're gonna get that interview, and we'll talk about how to ace that interview and actually get get those people to notice you and actually be impressed by you in the next section. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next section.